We're here at the 2026 Aircraft Electronics Association Convention and Trade Show in Dallas with Mike Adamson, CEO of the organization. You've done this before. This is a very well done gathering, not easy to pull together. Why is this gathering so important for member shops, for one?
Great question. Thanks for having me, by the way. Appreciate what you do for us with Avionics News. This is our 69th year of this, and this show has it's evolved over the years. It's become really a showcase for the new products, for sure, a chance for the manufacturers to connect with their dealers. But around all of that, not to compete with that, but around all of that, the core is really training. And we have over 100 hours this week of training that you can accomplish. And it's important because that's a requirement from the FAA as a certified repair station to have that. So, the value to these shops for a fairly nominal fee. They can break away a technician or two, their leadership team, their crew leads, their team leads, come pick up a few days of manufacturer training, meet with their sales reps, get some regulatory insights, always critical with Rick, and so just a tremendous value, I think, to shops. This is my 27th year with the organization, so I've seen it grow personally over that time.
Yeah, how many years has this convention been going?
69.
69 years.
Yeah. So
how's it grown over the years?
It's been steady.
We've got a packed convention hall here. We've been pumping out some videos as the audience will see, but there's a good turnout here, and it takes effort and expense to get here. So shops must see value in spending a few days here and setting up shop, right? Absolutely.
The growth has been steady. Mm-hmm. We've never really had that, that hockey stick kind of profile for it. We've had our share of setbacks too. It's a cyclical business, as you know.
Yeah.
There's world events that impact it. Mm-hmm. But I said it in the opening, aviation perseveres, and it does. And this group is a resilient group. These are craftsmen, artisan, and they come here to hone their craft. And even in a down year, where the market may be softer, there may be a global event, they still show up to get the training that they need and make themselves better technicians. And I think that's the value ultimately to the end user, right?
Yeah.
The folks that are here, the AEA member shop that comes and does the training and gets the regulatory updates, they take that back to their shop, and it pays immediate dividends to the folks that they do business with.
Let's talk about training.
Okay.
You and I both know that the industry has been hurting for qualified avionics technicians. We've seen a trend really getting worse over the years. The organization has been instrumental in new training. Let's talk about sort of a new standard for avionics technicians, right?
Yeah. So we've been involved in standards for technicians for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
And that's been accomplished through our work with ASTM and another certifying body. 2 years ago, we decided to update that standard and in the process create our own certification, something the organization has never had.
Yeah.
And we launched it last year at our meeting in Phoenix, mm-hmm.
with
really good interest, really strong interest. So we're building programs around that to support a modern standard for technicians. Updated, we call it the upgrade to the AET, but upgraded CAET, and that is an Aircraft Electronics Association certification.
Yeah.
And what we did is the old standard and certification sort of had a fundamentals piece, more bench focused, and then it had endorsements on top of that. What we did with the CAET is we combined it all into a more entry level base certification, foundational, and then we stacked it. So this year we announced on top of the base CAET, we announced the CAET Advanced. And what we're doing with that is we're adding a practical skills assessment, mm-hmm. In a sort of a panel or an oral assessment as well, on top of your normal written test.
Yeah.
To really validate what sort of a level 2 technician knows. right? So it's not just, pass a test and get a certification.
Yeah.
This has got real depth to it, real meaning, and it's going to be reviewed by subject matter experts in the industry before they just give you the stamp.
Yeah, well, so when you say level 2 technician, as opposed to, an apprentice? I mean, how would you...
I think apprenticeship would lead to it.
Understanding that avionics technicians learn a lot on the job, right?
That's
a
correct.
lot of what an avionics tech learns is by doing, right?
Correct.
How does this supplement what they'll do day to day in an avionics shop as they find their way?
That's a great question because it's not the same for every shop.
Yeah.
It depends on what aircraft are coming in, right? So if you have a regimented program for an apprentice, and you're just, you're doing 411, 413 checks, or you're doing some harness fab, well, that may or may not apply to the aircraft that's in the shop.
Right.
So today, the OJT may be a little different than it is tomorrow. So we've structured it so that you're accomplishing a certain amount of tasks. We have 65 in total. Accomplishing certain level of tasks over the course of 3 or 4 years. It's not, it's not a 90-day, 180-day. That does not a technician make, right? There's no way.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. So we understand that, and a level 2 is going to have more systems experience, some troubleshooting experience. They're going to be a little more in depth on, modern technologies. The sort of the bench focus that we used to have, we've sort of moved away from. That's a specialty in this industry now. So.
Yeah, my sense is that the bench technician, not only is that role changing, but we're not seeing a lot of need for bench level repairs. Still a need, I know.
Correct.
But it's more focused on the aircraft. Do you agree with that?
I do. We're seeing that quite. There are businesses that are in this hall that specialize in bench repair.
Absolutely. And instrument repair still.
That's correct. Yes, and it's a good business.
Still a lot of iron gyros flying around out there, and they need repair.
That's correct. And so, not to diminish what those folks do, they're artisans as well. There's just fewer of them, and they specialize. So the average shop may still have some expertise and may still be able to do that. But when they're looking for a new technician, they're not specifically looking for someone with that capabilities. And it's because they're doing installs and line maintenance and those sorts of things.
And last, this is a trade organization that's focused on the shop, but there's a real value to the end user. The owner who brings an airplane to a shop for a major avionics installation, how does this organization benefit them? And I'll take it one step further, and for the owner looking for a shop, what's the value in going to a shop that's an AEA member? I know the answer, but I want to hear your answer.
Yeah. So it's one of the things we travel to other shows, specifically Oshkosh, and try and share with that end user, Sun and Fun as well. That when you seek out that type of work, you're going to want to look for an AEA member. Those are the folks that come to these meetings, get the training, stay updated with their manufacturers. They have the latest and greatest. They have access to the best practices. They're taking pride in their technicians by spending the money to go away from the shop. In fact, I'll tell you, we have a number of shops here this week that have closed down for the purpose of this professional development.
It's an investment.
It's an investment, and I think you can tell as a customer of one of those shops who does that. You can read the room pretty quickly. The way they handle their business, the way they communicate with you, and then of course their skill and ability in just fixing whatever it is they're doing on your airplane. So we advise people, to look for the AEA logo. Everybody gets a member plaque. To look for that when they're shopping for upgrades.
And last, there's a lot of resources here at AEA for both shops and the end user. For the end user, we produce the Pilot's Guide.
Correct.
And that's a publication with lots of tips for the aircraft owner venturing on an avionics upgrade or repair or anything else related to avionics. And then, of course, there's Avionics News, which is a good resource for shops. Anything else that shops and end users can take advantage of when it comes to AEA resources?
Your videos. Let me plug you for a second, because you're a large part of the Pilot's Guide and Avionics News, and you've really added to that with the discussion with different manufacturers, the insights that you have from your background. That's sort of a new market for us on the video side, and we appreciate that. I think if you're to look at the YouTube pages from the association, track down the Avionics news site, you can watch some of those, and I know you're working on that even while you're at the show. With your perspective and your history in the business, you're bringing those insights to those end users because you've dealt with that.
Yeah, well, it's all about education,
That's
and,
right.
And that's what we do. And thank you for what you do. I can't think of a better president, and everything you've done for the organization. It's only going to get better, and thanks for talking.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Larry.
Thanks, Mike.
All right.